guys, so I know it has been a very long time. My fault. Okay, so better late than never, right? Here is my March wrap-up and April to be read. Yay! Jazz hands! So the first book I completed in March was How to Save a Life by Sarah Zarr. It's not my favorite Sarah Zarr book. It was okay. It wasn't my favorite by Sarah Zarr. I found the characters to be a tad annoying. Well, not a tad, but really annoying in several places. And it wasn't all that realistic, but I did like the moral. So I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Next book I read was The Testing by Joelle Charbonneau. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It was great. It was said it was recommended for fans of the Hunger Games, and I did like it. My only con of this book is that people would get hurt left and right, but then they could just fix themselves up and be perfectly fine. Like, what? But other than that, it's epic. It's awesome. So, yes, 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read, I saw in my library. Cover looked cool. It was kind of like an unknown book. So, yeah, I decided to pick it up, and it's Breathless by Jessica Warman. It was okay. Not great. The characters made really bad decisions, and there was no justification as to why. And then the story didn't go anywhere, because the main character never did anything extraordinary. There was no building up to anything. It was just, yeah, this happened, and then 10 years later, this is what happened, bye. So it's okay. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, mainly because I read this in a day, and I have no idea what compelled me to finish it, but I did. The next book was a reread, and after watching the movie again, because it came out in DVD, I was just so excited, had to reread it, and that was Catching Fire by Susan Collins. But I reread it. It was only the second time I read it. I actually enjoyed it more the second time around, so yay! 5 out of 5 stars, obviously. The next book I read was The Bitter Kingdom by Ray Carson, which is the third book, the Fire and Thorns trilogy. This trilogy was so good. The third book especially, I love the entire trilogy. It's just so amazing. While I loved it, it didn't wow me, and it actually took me quite a while to read. I think it took me about a week, because there's just so much going on, and then there's a specific scene that they were really leading up to in the series that happened in like a few pages, and I was like, wait, what? No. But I really loved the main character's relationship with her horse, who coincidentally she named Horse. I loved that. So yes, 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was Berserk by Michael Grant. I was really interested in the world less than I was the plot. And the characters in this book are written to where they're very placed. Like, you don't really know these characters' emotions and their motives behind what they do. You're mainly just in it because of the nano world. The main reason I recommend this book is because of how it changes your perspective on things. Overall, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was A Brief History of Montmoray by Michelle Cooper. And this was a very interesting read. It wasn't amazing, but it was good. That's 4 out of 5. The next book I read was Berserk Reloaded by Michael Grant again. It was just a continuation of the story. I'm excited for the third one, but not as much as I would have been if for Light. But it was a good second book. So that one was a 4. The next book I read was also a reread, and it was Matched by Ali Condi. I haven't read this book since right after I read the first book in the Hunger Games series, so it had been a really long time, and I actually think I enjoyed it just as much as I did the first time around. So good. Just so good, guys. Highly recommend it, 5 stars. Rose Under Fire, Elizabeth Wine. I can't tell you anything about it because it will ruin the plot. All you need to know is that it's set in World War II and there are female pilots. That's all you need to know. 5 out of 5 stars. I also read The Apprentices by Millie Malloy, which is on my to be read list, and I enjoyed it, which is the second book in the Apothecary trilogy, I think. Don't hold me to that. And I think I enjoyed it much more than the first because the characters had time to mature. 5 out of 5 stars. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you about it because it is the 7th right now as we speak. I apologize, it's the 8th. I'm so bad at this. But I also, on April 2nd and 3rd, I very quickly read The Spark Unseen by Sharon Cameron, which is the second book in the Dark Unwinding trilogy. So now we will move on to the April to be read. A week late. Don't hold me to any of this. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. It is Night Heron by Adam Brooks. Yeah, Adam Brooks. And this is an ARC I was sent, and thankfully the book does not come out until early May. So hard, guys. So hard to finish this so I can review it. But I plan to finish it, and I need to write a review because Goodreads asked me to, and I think it's been about a month since they sent this to me. Can you talk now? So I'm going to try and finish it, and I'm really sad that the edges got bent because I've been taking it to school so I can try and read it. And then I am also currently reading The Eye of Mind by James Dashner. I love my library finally got it in, and now it's the first one on the holds list, so yay! I'm about on page 200, and I just love this. I love it so much, guys. You don't even know. Although my one con is that I keep getting Michael and the other boy mixed up. I can't even think of his name because I just keep getting him and Michael mixed up. And guys, here it is. Doctor Who, the Doctor, His Lives and Times. Yes, we have needed this. And I'm actually about 100 pages into it. And I'm actually just reading through this as a whole, even though, as you'll see, it's like fail. Okay, but it has like pictures, and I'm going to stick my Exploding TARDIS bookmark back in it, and it's like information, see? And it's basically the story of the Doctor told through pictures and letters and eventually emails and like news articles. It's just so cool, guys. You have no idea. And I have actually been reading through it page by page, article by article. But it's really interesting to see the story of the previous Doctors told through this stuff because I feel like I know the Doctor more. And those books are Angel Fall and World After by Susan E. I'm so excited to finally be able to read these. Heard many amazing things, want to read, and will read this month. Yay. And then finally, I am so excited to finally have this in my hands. I have been waiting for this for so long, guys. And I finally have it, and I just want to marathon it in a day like I have the other two. And that is Ignite Me by Tahara Mafi. Just yes. Just yes. We come to the last 4 books, and you're probably thinking, whoa, 4? That seems quite a lot. And you would be right, my friend. I started watching Sherlock, and I was having Sherlock withdrawals, and my librarian was like, okay, here you go, just to make you happy again. And it's the Sherlock Holmes, what is this even called? Sherlock Holmes, The Legend Begins series by Andrew Lane, which is basically a teenage version of the original Sherlock Holmes. And I have book 1, Death Cloud, book 2, Rebel Fire, book 3, Black Ice, and book 4, Firestorm. Woo! Okay, books. You can't see me. You can't see me. But books. And finally, our last thing of business to conduct that made no sense is for me to draw a little thing from my TBR jar for books that I'm going to read. Now, if you haven't read my TBR jar video, I'll just briefly say that I'll put books that I haven't read on my bookshelf and books that I also, haven't read in 5 years. So there are a lot of childhood books in here, and they're mostly like random horse books because that's what I was into when I was 8 and 9. And shall we pick a piece of paper? That's what it's called, a piece of paper. Let's see now. I feel like Effie from the Hunger Games. Is this one? I think it's one. Ah, my foot's asleep. And so the book I shall be reading this month from my shelf is Dragon Keeper by Carol Wilkinson. Haven't heard anything about this book. My librarian just told me it was good. The kids' library, not the teen one. They're different. You should just know. It's not too long, as I'm pretty sure it's a children's story, but I'm excited. I mean, hey, it's about dragons. Why wouldn't I be excited? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry about the lighting. I know this is probably going to be really long, and I apologize, and I have tons of editing to do, but I will hopefully talk to you guys later. I will hopefully have a new video up. I'm hoping in the next 2 weeks, quite honestly. Before I go, I would like to say that I am participating in Camp NaNoWriMo this month. What was I thinking? I know, right? But I will try and have a video up about that. I think instead of doing vlogs, because I'm so busy this month, I'll end up just doing one video at the end of the month talking about it. This is the end of this very long, very tedious, and probably slightly annoying video.